Hey guys, and welcome again. Right, in this video I'm going to talk about how safe is Bangladesh. So overall, Bangladesh is a very, very safe country to travel, and 99% of the time you're not going to have any problems at all. Right, I'm going to talk about the positives first, and then I'll talk about the negatives. Right, so the positives are the people are very friendly. They are some of the most helpful and kind people I've ever met on my travels around the world. In general, 99.999% of the time people are just trying to help you. You're going to get a lot of stares, and some people might seem hostile. It's probably not hostility, it's just curiosity. They're just not used to tourists, so they're just kind of a bit wary of you, and yeah. So sometimes you get kind of stares and what might seem negativity, but actually if you talk to them, they'll put a big smile on their face. So as long as you use common sense and you travel like you've travelled anywhere else in the world, you know, don't go out late at night on your own, take taxis if you do go out at night, don't show your valuables to everybody, try to keep it to a minimum. Obviously your phone I wouldn't worry about, everybody has a mobile phone. In fact, you know, it's not uncommon to see people with the phone I've got. Nowadays it's an everyday item for most locals, so it's not something that people are going to be bothered about. If you pull your phone out on a bus, I wouldn't worry about it. A few years ago, yeah, but now, no. The buses, the taxis, they're all fine. You know, in terms of safety, your bag's not going to get stolen. So when you do get stuck, don't be afraid to ask the locals for help and advice. They're quite willing to help you, and you're in no danger. Pretty much anywhere you are in Bangladesh. I've been quite off the beaten track really. I've been right in the north, almost to the Indian border where not many tourists go, and still the locals are fine. There was no hostility at all. I've had some surreal conversations with some what looked like terrifying people, but actually were very nice. You know, this is where the stereotypes get broken down, thankfully, and you know, you start to realise that, you know, it is a very safe country. Okay, so let's get to the negatives. So the people is not a problem. More what is dangerous are the roads. The most chance you're going to have with any problems in terms of safety in Bangladesh is going to be the roads. The driving here is some of the worst I've ever seen. It's just to the point of being terrifying. So there's 4 main ways of travelling, and there's only one that's pretty safe, and that's the train. So the trains are pretty good in terms of safety. On the trains you're fine. They don't go fast enough really, and they're quite well organised, and I've found that if you could go by train, it's probably the safest way. The only problem you have is the AC. The AC is ridiculous. At the moment I've got a bit of a sore throat from the 7 hours of air conditioning, so it was nearly 35 degrees outside and they had it at 16 degrees. I stepped off and I was coughing like anything. So at the moment I'm on cough medicine. So the other 3 ways are buses, CNGs, and what we call cyclos. So the buses are pretty obviously straightforward. Now generally a bus is a big thing, but the way they drive here, I will show some footage now. They literally, as you saw in the footage, they clang together, like they hit each other. It's not uncommon. Like all the buses, it's easier to show you than it is for me to explain it. So the buses are, wow, I mean, just absolutely nuts. But again, not too bad. You know, you're going to be cramped unless you go business class, which I wouldn't recommend. If you can afford to go first class, it's very, you know, what they call business class, which is air conditioned, and the seating's fantastic. A massive seat, almost like an airplane seat. The next one is what we call CNGs, which most people know by the name of tuk-tuk or auto rickshaw. They generally around the world are pretty safe. However, in Bangladesh, it's a different story. They are nuts. They are absolutely crazy. I had one terrifying experience in a CNG that lasted 2.5 hours, and when I stepped out I was shaking because this guy was crazy. So unfortunately it was the only way I could get back. CNGs were the only way you could go. There was no buses or even private cars available. So the only way I could get back was CNG. So terrifying. And I'd love to have videoed it, but I was just so scared that if I got my phone out, I felt like I was going to drop it because I was holding on for dear life. At one point, this guy swerves, and there was a pile of sand, and he hit the sand, and we went onto like 2 wheels. And it's only a 3-wheeler, and we were on 2. It was like something out of a movie, and it was like an usual bang, you know, back down, and he's flying along like zoom, zoom. They weave, absolute nightmare, and they don't seem to have any fear of buses. They'll go head on with a bus and last minute like steer, and literally you feel like it doesn't even feel like you can see literally that far away from hitting a bus at 40 miles an hour. I can't describe how bad it is. So personally, if you can avoid taking CNGs anywhere in Bangladesh, I would recommend it. Sometimes it's not unavoidable, but try not to use them because they are not safe. So the last way is by cyclo. Now, I like cyclos, but they are still a little bit dangerous. So in Dhaka, there's something like 500,000 of them. It is kind of the main way of getting about the city. And as a tourist, even if you're going long distance, I would recommend taking a cyclo. I took one for 6.5 kilometres in Dhaka, which took over an hour, but it was way more comfortable than a CNG. The only problem is that you still got the buses to contend with. They kind of, you know, I got hit. Our cyclo got tapped by a bus. It was only kind of pulling in, but still quite terrifying when you're a tourist and you get tapped by a bus. Yeah, so again, they're pretty scary. The other thing in Bangladesh that is dangerous is the nature, the weather. This can turn. There's quite a lot of different things. So like flooding is possible, cyclones, monsoons. You know, there's quite a few things in terms of weather that can harm you. So really double check on the time of year you're going. I would recommend if you're coming to Bangladesh, come in November, December and January. It is the best time of year. There's no rain. I'm here in September and it is biblically hot, ridiculously hot. It was so hot the other night. I mean, I didn't have air conditioning, but it got so hot that it just got ridiculous. I just couldn't physically carry on. I didn't sleep the whole night. It was just ridiculous. So overall, Bangladesh is a very, very safe country, and I would recommend anybody coming here. The only thing I would say is be cautious, be smart. You know, really when you're crossing the road, watch yourself. This is a crazy place. It's only dangerous if you make it dangerous. So the only other thing I would say is the pollution is very, very bad here. It's something that's not really you can avoid, but it is part of reality of travelling Bangladesh. Is try to not stay in the cities too long. Try and get out of the cities as much as you can into the countryside, you know, because it is bad. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn that notification button on, and I'll see you next time.